Welcome to the bold analysis. Irungu Nyakea, who was appointed as the KEMSA chairperson, has opened the lid on very disturbing reasons why politicians are veering off from William Ruto, and made it to report that a host of 4 politicians are actually on their way out of Kenya Kwanza. And I'll explain, reveal to you these 4 politicians that are leaving UDA party ahead of the next election, in 2027. And what exactly is it? Now, Irungu Nyakea is making some very keen observation here, that there are 4 camps that have neglected William Samoei Arap Ruto, and the reason why they've neglected William Ruto is something that is very predictable. So in this podcast, I'm going to reveal those 4 politicians making their way, and of course, why the political tide is actually changing. Nyakea remarked that Ruto was being neglected, leaving the president exposed to attacks even from the opposition and the media. And he says, Kenya Kwanza administration was carrying out reforms, but then these reforms are not well communicated or are not communicated by anyone in public, giving the opposition a field day. And giving reasons why Ruto was not receiving support from Kenya Kwanza, he attributed this scenario to these 4 camps. I want us to look at these 4 camps, then look at those 4 politicians. Number 1, Nyakea is saying that there are loyalists who are awarded seats in the executive and other planned state jobs, and they had become comfortable. They had become CEOs and found no need to defend William Ruto. In fact, Ruto himself has said he has many people to run politics, and he doesn't need support from anyone for him to run his politics. So the members who got to those positions, they turned into brokers and no longer thinks about the next election, or no longer thinks about defending William Ruto. That is the first camp. So, who are these? Especially this refers to those members of the cabinet. Number 2, he noted that there is a second camp that were rewarded but are dissatisfied with those positions, given they feel that the posts given to them do not match the effort they put in 2022 campaigns. As such, have decided to keep quiet as Ruto faces an onslaught from the opposition. Of course, I know when people get it, when people go hunting after getting the animal, they fight in dividing it. And they support the care. There are some people that feel entitled to Ruto administration, and they feel like what they've been given is some peanuts. And these fellows are also quiet. The third slot, he noted that there is a group of Kenya Kwanza politicians who supported Ruto but were quickly ignored after the victory. Now, they have since kept quiet. This group involves bloggers and media personalities who used to campaign for William Ruto, including even the church members, the clergy from especially Mount Kenya. So that is the third camp that is also neglecting William Samoei Arap Ruto. These are fellows that believed on what Ruto was. Number 3, the other camp is the UDA party camp. The UDA party leadership is the vehicle that should be defending the president. That is the majority, that is the ruling party. And because of leadership squabbles between who is supposed to be the Secretary General and who is not supposed to be the SG, or who is not supposed to be the party leader and the deputy party leader, the party has also neglected the president's agenda. But I want to explain this. Those four camps are just in the periphery. The real issue why they cannot communicate Ruto agenda in public is something that is deeper, and I'll try to divulge more on that. Looking at those four camps in the corridors, we've narrowed down to these four politicians that are leaving the UDA party and are veering off from Ruto's shadow. Till there are five. The first politician is Osoro. Osoro, who is the chief whip in the National Assembly, is supposed to be, was Ruto's proxy man to fight Simbarati in Kisii. And was seen as a politician who was probably Ruto's right-hand person to neutralize the influence of Simbarati in the ODM party in Kisii. Remember Ezekiel Machogu, who is the current education CS, was the person that had vied as a governor in Kisii before he was given a cabinet portfolio. But for one reason or the other, he kept off Kisii politics and has not been running an onslaught against Simbarati. The person that has been running onslaught against Simbarati is Osoro. But before Osoro went to UDA party, he vied with a very fringe party as an MP. And because of the growing influence of the ODM party in Kisii, Osoro is seeing very well that Kisii is becoming hostile. And during the recent anti-government protest, what Kisii shocked many people in this country, because people didn't believe that Kisii would actually protest to that level. So recently, when Nyakango was arrested on some flimsy corruption charges, he called a press briefing and called out government on what he believed was not going on right. And even during recent president's visit there, he was cagey to defend the president in the public. And Osoro could be veering off from UDA to a fringe political party in the next election. And this is why some of these fellows are no longer clearly associating with the UDA agenda. Number two, and that is also a politician that believes he was the most prominent from Kisii, and if there was high-ranking posts to be given to Kisii, that could have been given to him. In fact, some people say that Osoro was even expecting a cabinet portfolio between him and, but that seat went to Machogu. The other politician is Nelson Havi. And Nelson Havi, before he even joined UDA, he was on the side of ODM party. But he was trying to get his way to ODM party, but could not make, because successfully petitioning the BBI, he was on Ruto's shadow and tried vying for Westland seat, MP seat, in vain. Now, before he is actually currently was appointed Retirement Benefits Authority, RBA. But the position, I remember the position he was even seeking first was that of the Attorney General and the Solicitor General. And to the best of my knowledge, he actually applied for some of those positions, some of those opening on the legal fraternity. So as a man who had even served at LSK, he was positioning himself for position in the JC, the Judicial Service Commission, or the Attorney General or the Solicitor General side. But he believes, and there is a very strong feeling, that RBA, where he was dispatched, is very fringe position, and is also keeping him off the limelight, the political limelight, and figuring out UDA might not be viable to vie for an MP seat, especially if you want to vie in town. Remember, any politician who wants to seek an elective seat in Nairobi here will have it very rough in 2027 because of William Ruto. Any politician, if you want an MP seat, an MCA, a senator, or a governor, on a UDA top ticket in Nairobi or any town, then you will have it rough, because town dwellers are the most affected by the Ruto economic policies. So for town dwellers, it's a bit of a challenge. That is the other politician that is seeking an exit. Number 3 is Moni Khalwale. Moni Khalwale wants to be the governor of Busia, of Kakamega. In the same position, the UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala also is the custodian of the UDA party ticket for the governor's race. In many instances, he has come out clearly to call out Kenya Kwanza and William Ruto on what he believes has not been going on right. The ground is hostile, but with the prominence of the emergence of Oparanya in the Azimio political matrix, it is most likely, if Oparanya will fall in a presidential ticket on whichever formation, be it Karua Oparanya, Kalonzo Oparanya, Raila Oparanya, or who Oparanya, then his ODM party is going to be a very lucrative ticket in Kakamega. And Moni Khalwales are looking at that probability. The other fourth politician is Didmus Baraza. Didmus Baraza has openly criticized Kenya Kwanza that since they got into office, they became comfortable, never thinking about wananchi, the cost of living, and while vying for Bungoma governor's seat, the cost of living issue has emerged, and in fact is contemplating of going back to Ford, Kenya to vie for Kakamega gubernatorial seat in 2027. And lastly is Dichopevu in Mombasa. Despite the fact that internally William Ruto had been vouching for LGBTQ rights, he staged protests in different cities in Mombasa and Nairobi alongside the second lady Dorcas Regade on that front, and is believed that if things run, remember an attempt to stabilize the UDA party in Mombasa even flopped when activation that was called by the party did not see the light of the day. But you would actually make a clear observation. Ichungwa, Oalo, Cheriot, Cherelgei, Sudi, all these politicians used to defend Kenya Kwanza, even the first few months. But now as we talk, when UDA politicians get to the podium, they want to speak more about Raila and Uhuru and the dramas. And especially now they've brought up a narrative around judiciary. And no one wants to defend Kenya Kwanza. And in fact, you can remember in some instances, Murkomen was heckled in his own backyard when he was trying to speak to residents about something. There's a cabinet secretary from Kitui was also heckled. Even William Ruto was heckled in Mombasa. While in Kisii, it was also not business as usual. So things are very tough. But then, I've narrowed down to three reasons that Rigathi may not have brought up. That why the Ruto internal fold are declining, or rather are neglecting Kenya Kwanza agenda. Number one, politicians are looking at alternative political pathways away from Ruto. I am seeing the death of Azimio, and I am not shocked. It's not a puzzle, because for me, I've been insisting Azimio cannot be a political vehicle for 2027. But members of Azimio can form a political vehicle. But Azimio as it is, it's not, because it's going to have so many patches. If you go with an Azimio ticket, The other side will start telling you that last time they had Joho, last time they had a Tuoli, last time they had so and so, but those people are no longer seen in the picture. Last time they had Charity Ngilu. So you must form a new political formation based on a different ideology. Like the Azimio one was Azimio to take up power, to succeed Uhuru Kenyatta. So now you must get another formation that is away from succession, that it's actually out to rescue the country. So I will look at that in my podcast in the course of the day. But I'm seeing politicians trying to find different ways to make political comeback. Ruto has over-relied on blue-eyed textbook economists and defied politicians. You remember before the State of the Nation address, the Kenya Kwanza politicians around met with Ruto in State House, and they told the president the ground is hostile. Do something. Ruto told them, this is not the time to be popular. And they said, okay, if that's not the time to be popular, then you do your thing. You're not going to sell it. And number three, I think they're also feeling that the more you defend Kenya Kwanza, you are giving fodder to your opponents who may get more mileage from Kenya Kwanza. Because the more you get heckled, you get things stuff in the ground, you are giving your opponents mileage against you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching our podcast. That is my bold. In my next podcast, we are coming straight over something from Belgium. So make sure you subscribe and support this podcast. I'm still reminding us about our new project for this year, which is coming later in the month, to support 5 children under Bold Charity Network to secondary school. In the new transition, I've been receiving a multiple of requests of kids from needy backgrounds, bright, and we said that I'm still opening up. You can share. I've seen a couple of people sharing. We'll sit down and find worst case scenario, see 5, and ask support, give full scholarship for 5. We'll be paying for them fees for the next 4 years. So we'll be doing probably 2 fundraisers. One, the first in the course of the year, and the other one in the middle of the year. Maybe when they're getting second term, then we pay second term and third term. This time we pay first term and all that. So we'll do that under this program. I believe it's possible, and let's push through. I said we want us to be part of the solution, and in 2024 we will be big on education, because education is an equalizer. I want to say thank you, because through the network we've also managed to secure 1 scholarship for some lady in Masai University, and that's the spirit. Even if you're out there, you want to support someone, you want to support a child, we can even link you through. Our work here will simply to collect the timely reports and ensure the child is in school and gets full support from Bold Charity Network. With that, we'll make a big impact in the society, apart from just helping in the times of distress, like people are sick and they need of houses and all that. But on this one, this will be a full program. So kindly, let's support. In the middle, we'll roll out, do that fundraiser later in the month. Thank you.